Hey everyone, it's Catchcon again, coming back to you with a new video. Today I'll be doing an Unchained Evil Eye deck profile. The Unchained cards are based on the 8 Immortals from Taoism, while the Evil Eye cards are based on multiple different legends involving malicious glares. Before I begin, if you enjoyed the videos I put out, I need your help in growing my channel by remembering to like, share, and subscribe. Additionally, if you have any video requests would like to share the tech cards you use, please post in the comment section. Now let's get into the deck profile. Unchained Evil Eye is a unique deck that combines the Unchained card effect to capitalize on being destroyed and utilizing your opponent's problematic monsters as link material with Evil Eye card effects that cost destroying your own cards. This blend creates a recipe for board-breaking combos and for boards that many decks struggle dealing with. Now let's get into card by card. First up is my favorite hand trap, Ash Blossom of Joyous Spring. Her effect is, if your opponent activates a card that involves adding, special summoning, sending from the deck, or sending from the deck, once per turn you can discard and negate that effect. This is great for slowing down your opponent's plays or even stopping them entirely. Also, I run Unchained Twin Aruha. This card has two effects. The first effect is, by destroying one card on your side of the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. This second effect, all Unchained Twins have in common, which is, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect with a card of a different name than this card, you can special summon an Unchained monster from the deck. Both effects of this card can only be used once per turn. This is my preferred starter with Unchained Spell Trap card in my hand in order to get my play started. Next is Unchained Twin Rikia. Its unique effect is, quick effect, you can target one card you control and destroy it, but for the rest of the turn, you can only special summon Fiend type monsters. This card is great to have in your field to extend or start combos by utilizing Unchained's destruction effects. Following Rikia is Unchained Twin Sarama. Its unique effect is, target one Unchained card in your graveyard and set it, then destroy one card, an important mechanic for setting up boards. After Sarama, we have Surzo, the Watcher of the Evil Eye. Its effect is, when it's normal summon, you can add an Evil Eye card from your deck to your hand, except Surzo. If this card is equipped with an Evil Eye of Selene, you can target one special summon monster you control and destroy it. During your next standby phase, after this card was activated, destroy one card you control. This is the best normal summon of the deck and is great boss monster while equipped with Selene. Next is Unchained Soul of Disaster. This card has three effects. First effect is, gains 3 attack for each Unchained card in your graveyard. Second effect, once per turn, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, immediately link summon using this card and that targeted monster. Third effect, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, special summon one Unchained monster from the graveyard, except Unchained Soul of Disaster. This card is great, but bricks if you draw it into your hand. I also run Unbottomable Unchained Soul. Its effect is, if a card you control is destroyed, period, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can discard one card and destroy one card on the field. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was destroyed this turn, special summon it, but return it to the deck when it leaves the field. This card is great for disruption plays and helping to go for king. Next is the Iris Sword Soul. During the main phase, if a monster whose effect is negated is on the field, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If your opponent special summons a monster, you can activate one of these effects based off where that monster was special summoned from. You can only activate this effect once per turn. If special summon from your hand, you can special summon one monster from your hand. If from the deck, draw 2 cards. If from the extra deck, you destroy one of those monsters special summoned from the extra deck. This is a great card for putting pressure on your opponent. Now for the Spell and Traps cards, starting with Terraforming. This effect is, add one field spell from your deck to your hand. Following Terraforming is Abomination's Prison. This card has 2 effects. The first effect is, add one Unchained card from your deck to your hand. Second effect is, all Unchained Spell and Traps share, which is, if this set card is destroyed, you can special summon any Unchained monster from the deck. Both effects of this card can only be activated once per turn. I love seeing this card in my hand with Unchained Twin or Ruha or Rakia because it gives me access to combos and disruption. Next is Evil Eye Celine. You can only be equipped with Evil Eye monsters, and this monster cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect, nor can it be targeted by your opponent's card effect. Each time the equipped monster activates an effect, or an Evil Eye spell or trap card is activated, the equipped monster gains 500 attack and you lose 500 life points. If the equipped monster keeps its boosted attack even if this card leaves the field. If this card is in the graveyard, you can pay 1000 life points and banish one Evil Eye spell or trap card from your graveyard, then set this card on the field. I also run Evil Eye Gorgon Neo. You can only equip an Evil Eye monster with this card, and you can only activate one Evil Eye of Gorgon Neo once per turn. This card name becomes Evil Eye Celine while on the field. While your life points are lower, the equipped monster gains difference in attack of your life points in attack. You can banish this card and discard one Evil Eye card, add one Evil Eye spell trap to your hand, except Evil Eye Gorgon Neo. You can only activate this effect once per turn. Next is Evil Eye Domain Paradilla. When activated, add one Evil Eye monster from the deck to your hand. Once per turn, during damage calculation, if Evil Eye Celine is equipped, your opponent takes the battle damage you take. If this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can target and add one Evil Eye monster in your graveyard to your hand. And you can only activate Evil Eye Domain Paradilla once per turn. This card is good for starters and great for Ash Blossom Baby. Next is Wailing of the Unchained Soul. Its unique effect is, when you link summon an Unchained monster, target one card and destroy it. Next is Called by the Grave, a quick effect spell card, which effect is you can banish one monster in your opponent's graveyard and negate that card's name for the rest of the turn. Coming up next is Infinite Impermanence. The effect is you can target one face-up monster on the field and negate that effect of that monster to the infinite. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand, and if this card is on the field when activated, you can negate the effect of spell and trap cards in the same column as this card. I also run Escape of the Unchained. Its unique effect is target one Unchained monster you control and target one card on the field, then destroy both. This card is a good solution for back row decks and interruptions in general. And the last card of the main deck is Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. Its unique effect is special one Unchained monster from the hand or graveyard. Now for the extra deck. We got Nightmare Phoenix and Unicorn with the effect of you can discard one card, destroy a spell and trap, or spin a card respectively. Next is Unchained Soul of Rage. Its effect is, during your opponent's main phase, you can target one face-up special summon monster your opponent controls, link summon one dark monster using this card and a targeted card. If this card is destroyed, you can add one feed monster from the graveyard to the hand. This card is the best card you can have out in your opponent's turn and give you the most pressure. Next is Gorgon, Empress of the Evil Eye. Her effect is, it gains 100 attack for each Evil Eye card in the graveyard with different names. If equipped with Celine, quick effect, you can target that card, then negate its effect to the end of the turn. During the next standby phase, after this effect was activated, you can store one card, discard points. This is great for setting up plays with Unchained monsters or slowing your opponent down in general. Next up is IP Masquerena. Its effect is, during your opponent's main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, link summon one monster using monsters you control. A link monster summoned by the effect cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effect. I usually go for this link 4 monsters, depending on the situation I'm in. Next is Unchained Soul of Anguish. It's basically the same as Unchained Soul of Rage, only it's not a quick effect and cannot activate on your opponent's turn or minions. Next is Tile T Dragon. Its effect is, depending on the type of monster you use to link summon it. For example, Fusion, your opponent cannot activate monster effects during the battle phase. Synchro, your opponent cannot activate spell or traps during the main phase. Or XYZ, your opponent cannot activate a card effect in the graveyard during your main phase or battle phase. Next up is Topologic Bomber Dragon. Its effect is, if another monster is special summoned to the zone a link monster points to, destroy all monsters in the main monster zone. Other monsters cannot attack for the rest of the turn. If this card attacks a monster, inflicts damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. Next is Beauregard Dragon. Its effect is, it cannot be destroyed by card effect. Once per turn, you can send one spell trap on the field to the graveyard to summon one monster that was destroyed this turn. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target one monster on the field, put it face down. Your opponent cannot activate cards in response to this card. Next is my favorite link 4, Mech Knight Crusader Aramax. The effect is, your opponent cannot target this card with card effect. Also, the monster your opponent cannot target other monsters for attack except this one. If this card battles a special summon monster, it gains that monster's attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard by your opponent, shuffle one card into the deck. None of these effects are once per turn. And lastly, I run Unchained Abomination. Its effect is, if a card is destroyed on the field by card effect except Unchained Abomination, destroy one card. When another monster is destroyed by battle, destroy one card. During the end phase, you can target one card and destroy it. You can only use each effect of Unchained Abomination once per turn. This card needs therapy. With that being said, let's get into the replays. Alright. Here's the first replay. Just want to show y'all what this deck is capable of. Even though there's no hand traps, it's still a pretty good hand. Like, you're gonna see them, man. Facing up against Thunder Dragon, which is one of the favorite archetypes. I love fighting with this deck because they have a lot of destruction effects, which I capitalize on that. I imagine that the moment I summon an Unchained monster, my opponent did the CJ from Grand Theft Auto. Oh, here we go again. You know. I kind of messed up there too. I'm not, feel I can make mistakes. What I should have did was attack first and then special summon this, and then summon this afterwards. Because then I could have added a Evil Eye spell trap card to my hand. But you know, that still worked out in the end. It's still a pretty good board because I got Unchained Soul Rage on the field, so, and I got Abominable Unchained in my hand. Still pretty good. $3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. getting out of here. Just had to scoop. And it wasn't even that like I had a bunch of negates. That he knew that his inboard is just going to be destroying cards on my side of the field, and I capitalized on that. It was just like, you know what? Back over. Realize that's about. I got like 4 interruptions. And I'll tell you, you know what? Now y'all can see how y'all can go for game. Remember, yeah, 8,000 attacks. I don't even know. That's all it takes. Alright, and that's last but not least. Up against Duel. Right there, I was lucky. Well, not lucky, but it destroys cards after it's negated. So I guess he didn't realize that, you know, who he was playing against. Now I'm not supposed to go off all my plays now. Now the way of special summoning is disaster too. Even if he miraculously gets through this, destroys him. And the reason why I got rid of this token is because now without the token they can't basically can't really do anything. I'm gonna spin him back too, just to make sure he can't do anything. Yep, so now y'all can see how Unchained can go off. Hope you liked the video, everyone. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And catch y'all guys in the next video. Take care.